Welcome to the Market Mindset. We are the hub for news, results, and CEO interviews focusing the junior commodities sector. We provide market analysis and perspective that will help position you for solid returns. If that sounds like something you're interested in, you can help support us by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the notification bell. For more info, you can visit our website. All links are in the description below. Now let's get into today's video.
Good morning, everyone. It's Andrew with the Market Mindset. Today, it's great to catch up with an old friend and someone I've worked with, Catalin Kilofliski, President and CEO of Goldplay Mining, Director and Founder over there. There's lots to talk about. We spoke to you just a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, about your project, two continent play. But there's a lot happening in the near term that I kind of wanted to talk about because you're heading overseas.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what's happening, what's going on right now today?
Andrew, first of all, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, and it's always a great opportunity for us to get the word out there and tell people what we are up to. Goldplay has been now a public company just under a year. We've been trading since last April. And that was the year of the formation of the company, going from a concept to a reality, which is now unfolding. And maybe going back a little bit, why Goldplay? Why did I decide to do Goldplay? Having been through another major success with Tudor Gold, and we can talk about that in a second, because I do see a lot of similarities now, both from where we are today in terms of share price, where was Tudor when I joined, why I joined Tudor, why I created Goldplay. So we can talk a little bit about that, but I'll leave it to the side for a second. We've created a dual focus, both BC and Portugal. And you're right, I'm heading out to Portugal again. I feel very fortunate with Goldplay to be there at the right time and the right place. And, we can go on a bit more in details. And we do generally have a first mover advantage in the country. More than any time now, Europe needs metal production resources produced within the European Union, with what's happening in Russia and why not. And we do have a lot of those projects. And, as a matter of fact, for investors, if they want to hear us live from Portugal, together with myself and the team there, we'll be having a webinar that's hosted by Red Cloud next Tuesday. And, if you're kind enough to send to your investors the details about that, it will be great. But we'll be broadcasting live from Portugal next week. And this is not really going to be a promotion story for Goldplay. We want to talk a little bit about Goldplay, but it's more to do with getting people to know Portugal when it comes to mining, why Portugal, what's going on, what's the opportunity. And we're trying to make it very educative and interesting to people as we can.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, we're a big fan of Red Cloud and the work they do, and those types of informative, educational types of broadcasts get a lot of views because, I mean, if people aren't aware, I mean, they know what's happening with Ukraine and Russia. That's causing an energy crisis, a food crisis. And if we're going to do any of this green electrification of the future, any of this big shift in energy, well, where is Europe going to get any of their energy? Where are they going to get the copper? Where are they going to get lithium? Where are they going to get any of these metals and mining materials that are required? Where are they going to get the uranium for nuclear? I mean, all of these questions, they're being ramped up urgently. They may have been a problem like a year ago or before the war, but now it's certainly, because even if the war ends tomorrow, they sign a peace treaty, trust has been broken. There's going to be a long time, years worth of trade and back and forth to get people comfortable. We don't have years. If they're doing this shift in energy, it's an issue today. And this mining rebirth in Europe, I think it'll be a fascinating show that you'll have with Red Cloud.
No, I agree. And, the interesting thing is Europe sits on massive resources. And as a matter of fact, Portugal has a significant chunk of that. They're sitting on the most prolific, what's called the pirate belt in Portugal. We have the big mines there, and it extends into Spain. It's been mining for thousands of years, going back to Roman times. Yet, they are importing, Europe imports most of their metal needs, right? So,
Yes.
so it's really a great opportunity. And I can attest to the fact that I do see a genuine push and shift in the government perspective to encourage mining, brownfield development and new discoveries. Really, that's what it's all about. But I won't talk too much because I'll be killing
the show. But yeah, I'll definitely give it a shout out. Is that conversation of the, you know, with governments and all that. We'll leave that for that spicy talk, because that's if nothing else for people, if you want to know how some of this works behind the scenes, that'd be a very fascinating live stream to watch. And that being said, I want to take a different approach with you in this, because we met at Tudor Gold, and I remember, you know, you sitting there at the first lunch we all had, and you had expressed how much like you had wanted to work for Tudor, like you had picked Tudor, and you had success at other companies and startups in the mining space. You knew your stuff. You did a lot of work to determine that this is the project, this is where I want to be, and I always find that interesting, because I mean I was lucky to see some, you know, some gold or some glitter there for sure. But when someone else was so adamant, I mean, you were really for it. Tell me what that was like, because what a huge success. And I think you know, you never want to underscore that when people see that you're associated with such a big success, and then go, well, why did you leave, and why would you go start something and it's a 6 million market cap? What the heck?
I know, that's a very good question, Andrew. And look, it's right. I mean, having been involved in the mining space for about 20 plus years, and having had my eyes open, I did see at the time Tudor as being one of those, you know, companies prone for a major move. And really, it comes down to people and projects. You know, I had the fortunate to meet Ken Kongi, who is now the CEO of the company. He's a brilliant geologist. And you know, we were sitting on a project that has become one of the largest discoveries of the decade, right? And basically Ken needed to do work. There were no money available. So I raised Ken, you know, in excess of 20 million, and we got the stock trading from no trading really, then 25 cents to up to $4.
Yeah.
And you know, that didn't happen overnight, but it happened over the course of about a year.
Yeah.
And I think really what's important, what reminds me about that day is what's happening with gold. I remember the day when we're trying to raise $3 million and with 25 cents and people were not giving us money. It's like, well, you know, you guys are not trading, it's 25 cents. People that did have the trust in us and trusted with their dollars did very well. And you know, the question is, can we repeat that? I can't say for sure yes. All I can say is that we are using the same type of recipe that we've done at Tudor Gold. And what is it really? It's really, and it's again a question of why did I create Goldplay and left Tudor? Well, Tudor went on its way once the discovery was made. They went to do the resource. So, you know, the discovery is made. My job was done. You know, now the company is moving into resource definition, PA, feasibility. So, you know, it's a different team that's going to probably end up doing all that. So my job was done there successfully. So I decided to put together the best of everything I've learned in the space of people, projects, to create a company from a brand new piece of paper, really, from a concept. Started with great people. You know, we got the likes of Walter Kozlowski of Skina, was a major shareholder, chairman of our advisory board, and you know, a bunch of other very experienced guys. I'm not going to mention all the names. Feel free to look on our website.
Yes.
And then we are looking for the next project in BC that could make that major discovery. You know, we don't want to get a project that's been around for ages and nobody's got to make it work, and we want to look like the smart guys. No, we want something that's been covered with ice, like Tudor is, something that has the signs of a major system, like Goldstorm is, and has seen some work, but not enough to make the discovery. And we do strongly believe we have two core projects. We have more, but we have two core projects in BC. One is Big Frank and one is Goldstorm South. They sit in Southwest BC, not up north, so it's arguably the better place to be. But it's also a place where it has seen very little exploration historically. Everybody has been focusing in the Golden Triangle, and we do have a project there as well.
Yeah.
But very little in the Southwest. And yet this project I'm talking about has seen, grades up to 1.2 kilos silver that we picked last fall from a vein. Grades up to, half an ounce gold, channel samples, 2 meters running, 120 grams gold, 4% copper. So we will be the first company to do an exploration program, including drilling this summer. We're just waiting for permits, and fingers crossed, been filed since December, and we're getting to the final stages of that. But we expect to have news flow and hopefully show a signs for a discovery this summer. So that's both, the opportunity and the challenge for Goldplay. And I think we are in a good position from a cash perspective. Most of this project is already going to be funded from existing cash, so we can get the project going. And we got the right people involved. We got the new exploration manager, highly seasoned, that's going to be leading this. So I think that's great. But then to counterbalance this, because again, as investors realize, it's high risk, high reward scenario, right? Yep. We got a bunch of brownfields projects in Portugal. Yes. And it's beautiful because, you don't want to be in one pony show, where you put all your money on one horse and good luck. Yeah. We're counterbalancing that with a bunch of projects which we have in Portugal, for most part brownfields. So those are projects including copper that produced when copper was like 50, 70 cents a pound, and it's not seen anything done since. Yes, and they were sitting in the hands of the government. That's again going to the beauty of what we're doing in Portugal. And yet we got those projects from the government now after 30 years, and we will be the first guys to do work and try to put those projects on a path to production. Look what Skina's done, with the SK Creek, my dear friend Walter. It's a past producing mine. I mean, DS was one of the highest grade gold mines in the world, probably when it produced. But it stopped because, gold was $300 or less. They've done amazing. It's over $1 billion market cap company. And they kind of followed the same concept we are doing in Portugal, yet, doing a much smaller scale in Portugal, but it's the same type of concept, right? Yes. Where we go, we get something from brownfields and advance it, and the environment cannot be any better than it is now. And the most important thing for Goldplay is we got a first mover advantage. We've already been in the country for a year, right at the time when they changed the landscape and they have a new mining law. We have in-country team. It's led by our manager exploration who lives in Portugal, who's a very seasoned guy. He's managed the Lundin mining operations for 7 years in Europe, still works with the Lundins. So again, team, projects, opportunities. So that's what Goldplay is all about. And this is the year when, we will be executing on those things because, it took us a year to get where we are. And I think we probably did okay because we've probably done about 4 or 5 major transactions in the course of 5 years. We'll also be the year when we're going to focus. So we're going to try to find some partners and, because we can do everything. We're still a small company. You want to pick the one BC project and the one Portuguese project you're going to make work, and then try to extract value from everything else. So that's also what's going on currently with the company.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, and we talked about Big Frank before in another video, so I encourage anyone to take a peek at that. And that piqued my interest for sure. And that's the type of stuff where like treasure hunters like, ooh, let's go poke holes in that. That's a fun one for sure. But then you have that kind of, it's a de-risked more project. It's copper. People can see that vision of, okay, yeah, we need copper. We talk a lot about copper on the show. If you're going to do this electric future type thing. And yes, if you have a stable stream of copper coming from Portugal, say, that story can be conveyed. And I think, once again, take a look at the live stream from Portugal. I'm sure you'll get into those types of things. That might kind of further make the case that, and counter whenever I kind of said, hey, you're a $6 million market cap, but you go, well, like if you have some success moving a 6 million market cap to a 50 million, that can be done, no problem. And that's almost 10 times right there. So there's lots of room for people if they believe the model of the right people, right projects, right timing. And I think some of these things you'll get more comfortable with if you're watching, when you see the live stream, you hear what's happening in Portugal, and you see this approach you've taken, which is it's unique and it's exciting because it has both. It has a bit of the super fun, gold kind of story, and then of the more stable copper type of play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually we do have gold too in Portugal. It's we have the core projects are copper, you're right. One is an underground mine and one is an open pit mine.
That's right.
As a side note, both of those mines, probably less than 1/3 has been mined of what's known, plus it's all the upside. So we're not trying to find, it's already kind of there, and we're trying to make it bigger and prove up the economics. So that's the plan there. But we also have some gold projects in Portugal, and we, as I mentioned, we are working towards stepping up the game in Portugal also. It's been a lot of time I've spent there, and that's why I'm going back. We're trying to step up the game and see whether we can partner with the big boys, get the game, raise the bar higher.
Yes, yeah.
We've all been, and there's the question: can we do it as a middle market cap company? Well, look at who's behind. Walter Coase, $1 billion market cap.
Yes.
Ex Newmont guy that's on advisory board. Ken Brown. I've been involved with $500 million market company. Yes, we can, and we know how to, right?
Yes.
And that's why when we're having those discussions, even with the bigger guys in Portugal, for example, they trust us because they look at who we are, and we can then get onto bigger deals, hopefully, right? So that's,
and this is the disconnect I like, because if you look, you go, oh, they're small company, 6 million, like even for mining, that's small. But once again, you look at who's involved, and you go, and even if you don't know the space, you go, oh, they must know something. They must have liked something. They must be pitched on something that they really liked. Otherwise, they're not going to get involved. And really, at the end of the day, without even having to tell people what that conversation is or what it was like, is that you had to have attracted them to be involved, and you got them involved. So that speaks volumes to, A, your ability to do that, and two, that they see there's value there, and there's a lot of value to that, that people can kind of look to, and if they want to see what the projected possible outcomes could be.
I agree, and as a matter of fact, not only they got involved with Goldplay, but in the case of Walter Coase, he's a major shareholder. He's put his own money, and he's a very big supporter, and is providing a lot of his ideas, and it's great, and that applies to myself. I put money, and I mean, nobody in the company got like free shares. We all put money. Like I wanted to create like a level playing field. The chairman of the company, he invested over $100,000 of his own money. So I said, look, and he's a world renowned metallurgist, Dr. Deepa Malhotra, and why not? And I've known him for a long time, and that's the concept, right? The chairman of our audit committee, a member of our board, is Andy Marshall, who's a key guy from First Mining Gold, right? Which is Keith Newmeyer's Gold. He's invested money, right?
Yes.
So it's those type of guys who, because you have very often you see companies, and this is the one thing I didn't want to do, where people just attract somebody to be there on their website and say, hey, this guy is attached to our company, maybe we'll do a contract once a year or something. That's not the case with Goldplay. It's a bit different, and that's why we wanted to create a new company from slate, from brand new.
Yeah, and I mean, these bigger players, they're always looking for younger fellas as well that are up and coming, because they need to work with people as well. And when they have a serious person that they're like, oh, we could work with this guy. That's what you need, and that's the relationship building over time. This is a serious person. They were attached to tutor. This is really good. Yeah. We like this thesis. Whenever you start to get some results, there'll be support. Whereas if you do see stories, sometimes they hit some results, they get some good numbers, people don't care. And you go, what happened? Why is that? Sometimes it's just they're just not attached to a stream that can move very fast if you start hitting some of those numbers, because all the work was done early on, say by yourself, to explain, this is the vision, here's what we're doing. If we hit, we're primed to move. And they go, we got it, we understand, let's go.
Yeah, that's good. That's exactly it.
Perfect. And you know what? We're going to find out more on this live stream from Portugal. So if you like Portugal and you want to find out a little bit more, check out the live stream. And once again, we look forward to catching up with you. And of course, any results in the meantime, we're going to be looking at it. But it's always great to catch up with you, Catalin. And I always like these types of striking out on your own. But you've attracted a huge team to back you and support you.
Thank you, Andrew, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll talk again, hopefully in the near future.
Excellent. All right. All the best in Portugal. Have a safe flight, and we'll look forward to seeing you live.
Thank you.